Did I record? Yeah, I record. Welcome all my lovely goblins and ghouls of the internet. I am Anya, your demon cinephile. And today was my birthday! Yay, happy birthday to me! What's the male VTuber equivalent of a hag? um, but yeah, that actually, my birthday was yesterday. I'm just recording this at 12:48. Not sure why I wake up at 8 tomorrow. um, but yeah, one of the things I went to go do for my birthday, was not a lot, was to watch The Monkey because it came out yesterday. Well, I consider it a birthday present. But yeah, The Monkey, I've been waiting for this to come out. I loved all the trailers. I have nothing but good things. I heard nothing but good things for other people. Had a very fun a member of the channel just keep telling me things about the monkey, how much that send me things about it. So I was very hyped for this film, and I have to say, I freaking love this movie. I haven't seen many movies of the year. I still need to catch up on Companion and Wolfman. So I haven't seen a lot of movies this year so far, but putting this, Hard Eyes, and Captain America, this is definitely like number two. I really did love this movie. It was so good. It was so fun and gory. That's a good way to quickly just talk about it. It's a fun, gory roller coaster. Positives, because there is some negatives about it, but I do want to talk about the positive. One, Osgood Perkins. I really love this guy as a director. I only seen he has done a lot of movies. I saw The Black Coat's Daughter like a long time, like a while ago, like when it first came out. But like, I rented the movie, got it from Redbox. I watched it like at 3 a.m. in the morning, so I was drifting in and out consciousness. I don't have the memories about it. I freaking love Long Legs. Long Legs was like was my one of my favorite movies of last year. It was fantastic. So this was very different from him because he does a lot more darker. Like he seems to do like much more darker dramas. Even his next movie, because if you stay to after the credits of the monkey, you'll get like a little preview of his upcoming movie, and it seems to be a much more darker piece. So this was very different for him. Oh, sorry, not editing that out. Is this like very different for him? This, if I had to say, This feels kind of like something Sam Raimi would do because it has that element for it. It kind of feels like an Evil Dead movie, like Evil Dead 2 or the last Evil Dead, Evil Dead Rise. It has that weird mix of horror and comedy, and for the most part, I really do like it. It has a very a zany, like a dark, twisted fairy tale feel about it. But for the characters, I really do like the characters. Or I like the performance from the characters. The two, not two boys, it's actually one boy. The main little boy who plays the twins in the first act of the film, I love him. He was great. You can tell, you couldn't even tell those two different people. Like he played it so perfectly. Like even when you can tell, like yeah, the twins aren't in the same shot. It's definitely the same actor, but he never felt like it. He was great in everything that they had him in. Conveying the struggles for the two brothers, especially the nerdy one, the one that keeps getting bullied. Really great. I love the Stephen King bullies. Cause god damn, Stephen King, you make some of the weirdest bullies in fiction. They ain't trying to kill the kid, but it's movie bullies with Stephen King. You know what you're gonna get for. But when it comes like to the plot of the film, where we see the two boys fighting this weird monkey toy that was left by their father, and then when it winded up, somebody dies. And that's kind of like the thing when it happens. The guy says the whole thing's off. You line the monkey up, and then you just wait till somebody dies. And it really does have that feel, like I said in one of my reactions, that this feels like a mixture of Death Note and it feels like a mixture of Death Note, Final Destination, and the original Monkey's Paw storyline. Because Death Note, you got to write people, you got kind of want people to die. You got to do the action yourself to make them die. Final Destination, you get all those complicated deaths, all these Rube Goldberg, whatever his name was, style contraption deaths. And then the actual Monkey Paw, the original story, because people want, like the brothers, individual parts of the film, and they want the monkey to kill somebody, and it doesn't always deliver. God, I am, I am regretting using this thing's face as my background because I'm looking at I'm looking at my screen while I'm recording this, and God, those eyes are just staring back at me. Oh, actually, that's another positive pro. I love the design of this monkey. This monkey is so cool. It's the right amount of creepy, but also kind of silly, kind of like the tone of the film. Because I know in the original story is supposed to be the classic Sindel monkey where he just claps his hands together with the cymbals like. But I love this how they decided here. It got winded up, and then the monkey, his hands goes up, it twins the stick. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it's called. Twins the stick, and then the drums start going. I don't know. It was really good because they played with the drumming in some of the death scenes, and it helped build up some good tension. And also, I just love the design for this monkey. This would be like a toy that I would have when I was a kid. Heck, I still have this and have this. I'm not sure why I put it in my house because I wouldn't want it watching me, but I'd take it. But what a positive you can say. The cinematography. Cinematography is really, really good. I noticed that in Long Legs, Osborne Per Osgood. Is it Osgood? Yeah, Osgood. Yeah, he has such a great eye for cinematography. Him and his crew. I think he's working with the same guy he did with Long Legs on this. And the way he shoots the film, it has a very nostalgic feel to it without being in your face about it. Like this movie does feel like it could have came out in the 90s. And I like the tone. I like the tone. It's the colors are dim but bright when they need to be, and when they have to have more flashiness to it, it works. Especially the editing. I really do love the editing for the comedic scenes. Everything was on point for what I expected they wanted to be. And I'm trying to think of a very specific scene that I really do love. I really want to say it's the pool scene. If you saw it in the trailer, you know what I'm talking about. There's something about it that I just really love. Sorry. Had dinner. Had a little too much to eat. But I do love that scene in particular. There's something about the darkness of it and how it kind of matches with the characters and how they are feeling dark in their lives. I love the creepy shots of the monkey invading this one character's lives. That was executed perfectly. And then there's this one scene we see a little bit in the trailer where he's chopping something, and the little boys are chopping something up. Love how that was executed. Everything about it was good. The cinematography, the editing, on freaking point. All the death scenes are great. Um, some of them are not as good as others because, like, the first time we see someone die, oh boy, that was awesome. That was awesome. And then second time, it was much more like the build up was much better, and when it happened, third death, it was very different because it was much a little bit more slower and much more emotional, while the other ones were a little bit more fun and gory. But after that, a lot of the death scenes change. They're much more quick witted. They're much more tended to be shocking and silly instead of scary and horrifying, which worked for the final product. It worked for what they're going for, but in terms of the emotional storytelling, I didn't really care for it because we've seen people dying that we don't really care about. And instead of lingering on some of those kills, it just goes right past them. So while I didn't enjoy it, it had me thinking this could have been a little bit different, a little bit better. Yeah, but my list of positives: great acting, great cinematography, amazing editing, and just the feel and tone of the film perfect. But the negatives is also one of the positives. It is the feel and tone of the film. This film is very marketed as a horror comedy, and when you watch the movie, it is a horror comedy, but it's not like the best. The best horror comedies like Scream, Evil Dead 2, Bride of Chucky. Those are some of the best horror comedies because the horror and the comedy don't really overtake each other. They are at a good blended level. Here, though, the first act of the film is perfect blend of horror and comedy. The second act of the film, it wanes and shifts for each scene, with the comedy mostly overtaking it. And by the time you get to the second act and near the third act, it feels like you're watching almost a completely different movie. And while I did like what I saw, I didn't. The tonal shift was a bit, eh. And also with the terms of the characters, when you get to the second act, we do a whole jump to 25 years later, modern times, and we follow one of the brothers. And spoiler alert, I guess a little bit of spoiler alert. We learn that he's a dad, but he's a deadbeat dad because he only sees his son like once a week for a year, something like that. And well, you know what the film's trying to go for. They're trying to go for that pain, that trauma, that generational trauma. His father wasn't there for him as a kid, and now he's doing the same thing to his kid that he feels like is justified because he doesn't want to infect his kid with all the shit in his life. But the film does a piss poor job of showing that. I mean, I understand it because I can understand subtext, but I feel like the big jump the from the characters from children to adults, there should have been a little bit more. I feel like we needed a bit explanation on how he came to this, how the monkey, and also just his trauma of being raised by his mom, his bullies, and all that affected him throughout his life. Like we needed I don't know, like a montage between like the blend between the first and second act. We needed something because while the film, like I said, the film does a good job explaining it. The actors do a good job convincing it. But while I'm in the seat, I'm thinking this could have done. Like it feels like we're missing like a good 5 or 10 minutes of just like a quick little scenes of him trying to be there, but something bad happened. Him trying to be present in his son's life, and then the monkey shows up. Him trying to be a good husband or boyfriend, and then the monkey shows up. Or it didn't even have to be the monkey, it could be the image of his mom, his bullies. It could have been something to show just a little bit extra punch, a little bit extra punch to show the trauma of everything that happened to him as a child. And then we get to the other brother, which Also, just spoiler. I won't spoil it too much, but we get to see the other brother, and we get we actually do get what I just said. We get a montage of everything he's been up to since his childhood, and while I loved it, I feel like it should have been a little bit better or a little bit longer because the character he starts off the movie as a kid as an asshole kid. He's the asshole kid. He's the bully. But when we jump to the modern time, he's just cuckoo. He's just crazy, and you get why he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. You get that. You understand that. But I want to see a little bit more of it because what we do see, he comes off more silly than threatening. It comes off as more silly than threatening, and with how the main actor plays both characters, I like the differences between them. I think we just need a little bit more. I would like to see a cut of the film where we follow both twins simultaneously after the time jump. I'm just not sure how that cut would work, but I don't know. I think it'd been kind of cool to see. The kid of the nerdy brother, I liked him. I liked his attitude because he just going off what he sees. He sees his dad's dead beast. Like, yeah, I guess we'll have one more week before sign away your parental rights. Goddamn lies, son of a bitch. I like his attitude. It feels very relatable. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, the monkey. Without really going into more spoilers on it, I really do love this film. I really do. I had such a blast watching it. I laughed so much in the theater. I think I was the only person laughing as loud, laughing in the theater. Thinking there's only like 5 people in the theater, so maybe it says more about me than them. But yeah, I loved every scene. I loved every death, every kill. I thought the comedy was really, really good. It's just I wanted a little bit more horror for the film. I wanted a little bit more, not really explanation, but more exploring with these characters. Because we do this big time jump and we don't really learn anything about them afterwards. I mean, we kind of do, but we also kind of don't. I love this monkey. I love this monkey. This thing is freaking terrifying. I a part of me wishes that it do little things to show it having a kind of a personality or some kind of presence behind it. But then again, I don't know. Because I'm the guy who kind of likes things to be explained. I'm the lore guy. I'll read a Wikipedia about characters' lore and their origins, how their powers work. So I like it when mysteries are explained. But I kind of like we didn't really know anything about the monkey. I kind of like how it just left unexplained. But I would like to show at least one or two glimpses of some kind of personality behind it. But then again, just maybe it just being this weird machine of death is suitable. I don't know. Put down the comments down below if you got this far in the video. What did you think about the actual monkey? Should it have had a little bit of a personality, or it just being this weird, ambiguous machine of death was perfect how it was? And speaking of death, I was looking to drink. That's kind of like the theme of the movie. The theme of the movie is that death happens. It's weird. It's fucked up. It's random. And I think that's what the film is trying to say. That death is this. Death is shitty. It just happens. And you may try to control it and hide from it, but it's going to happen regardless. And the best thing you do is just try to live with it. I think that's the That's the feeling that I got from watching the movie. That's the feeling that I got that the characters were trying to say. And I'm not saying no, that's the right interpretation of the message. And I think they did a good job showing it. But like I said, I would like a little bit more explanation, not explanation, but exploration with the characters, especially the other brother and everything that he went through after the whole time skip. But yeah, the monkey. I love this movie. I love this movie. I want to see it again in theaters, and I probably will, which is rare for me because I rarely see a movie twice in theaters. But the monkey, what did you think about the movie? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Put it down in the comments down below. I want to hear your opinions. And since it's technically it's a Stephen King story, what is your favorite Stephen King film and or novel? For novel, I have to say it. But for film, it's probably Christine. I love Christine. Christine is one of my favorite movies. We're gonna talk about that on the channel one day. But until then, I have been your Hanyo. Your hit the dust. I have been your Hanyo. Your Demon Cinephile, and I will see you all later. Bye bye.